last time. I can feel that burning deep inside. Gonna give it all I am. Gotta feel that power in my hands. Beat of the drums rushing through my skin.
It's trophy finals day with more silverware up for grabs in the BBL and the WBBL. The London Lions could be taking both back to the capital tonight, but the Raiders and the Wildcats will have other ideas.
We fought here. We deserve this.
It's another notch in our belt. I like winning.
We're going to play hard and come out with a win.
We want to be holding that trophy up.
Nice drive to the basket. Wow. And a steal! Oh, that's beautiful. That is 2 nights off the glass. Deep three. Doug Williams! Ubioro! Oh, my goodness! Oh, Denton Ubioro!
We're live from the University of Worcester Arena for one of the season's showpiece events. Later on, the Lions and the Plymouth Raiders go head-to-head for the BBL trophy. But first up, it's all eyes on the WBBL with the London Lions and the Nottingham Wildcats facing off. Very good afternoon to you. Good to have you with us. Our first final tipping off in less than 30 minutes time, helping us get set. Delighted to say 2 of the WBBL's finest joining us. Melissa Emmanuel-Carr, Rhian Bailey, great to see you both. Kieran Achara present and correct as ever. And Kieran, for players, it's all about days like this, isn't it?
This is what it's all about, you know. It's a beautiful day, sun is shining, 4 great teams battling it out, a lot of talent on display for that silverware, and that's what it's all about. They want to win that trophy, they want to be lifting it up in front of the crowd. I just can't wait to see things get going. The
sun is shining. You got your chinos on as well, so things are looking up there. London, Rhian, have only lost once since November. Nottingham, a team so used to the big occasion, so that's very keenly poised, isn't it?
Yeah, London Lions are going into this game confident and with lots of momentum behind them. But Nottingham are a really fiery team and passionate, and they've showed up on the big stage before, so it should be a good one today.
London could be the happiest franchise in British basketball come 7:30 tonight. This WBBL side, very different from the one 12 months ago, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Last season they didn't have such a good season, losing many games, but this season they've only lost 1 game so far in the championship, so I'm pretty sure they're very fired up and ready to take home some gold medal.
Alongside these 3, part of our team this afternoon, delighted to say the Sheffield Sharks skipper Mike Tuck, our courtside reporter, and looking very dapper, may I say, Mike.
Thank you very much. I'm happy to be here. It's nice to be asking some questions instead of answering some questions.
For a number of these players, this is going to be the biggest game of their careers so far. As a seasoned vet who's been there, done it, what advice would you be giving them right now?
You've done all the hard work. You know, you've played all those hard games to get here. Just relax. You know, there's no fans here, and play your heart out. You know, play hard, play smart, and have fun.
What a major day this could be for the London Lions as a collective franchise, who of course have had quite a lot of trials and tribulations already this season.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's going to be a great afternoon for basketball. I mean, this London Lions team, the organization has to be super happy that both teams have made this final.
Okay, well, whether it's the Lions or the Wildcats, history will be made because neither of these teams has won the WBBL trophy before, and that's partly, if we look at the history of the tournament, because Leicester haven't let many other teams have a look in. The Riders in the last 4 finals, winning 3 of them. Sheffield with back-to-back wins before that, including 2015 against Nottingham. This is the first time London have made the trophy final, and this is how they got there. The Lions had the slightly more straightforward route to the final. We look at their quarter-final bye against Sevenoaks, which was forfeited due to COVID protocol. Big win for them in the semi-finals over the current holders, the Riders. Nottingham, well, they made a light work of Durham in the quarters. In the semi-finals, Rhian, you'll probably tell us that scoreline is a little bit deceptive, right?
Very deceptive, very deceptive. We were in it right to the end, but they're a great team. They're a great team, and they came out on top.
In terms of the head-to-head matchup between these two, they played each other twice this season. Both occasions, pretty comfortable wins for the Lions. How important, Melita, are those head-to-head wins in terms of the psychological battle today?
Yeah, for the London Lions, they're coming into this game very comfortable and confident as well. But for Nottingham, I'm sure they've got a chip on their shoulder, so they're rearing to get back onto the court to play them and beat them this time.
Which side would you rather be on, coming into it with back-to-back wins, or, as you say, Nottingham, with revenge on your mind?
Definitely have to be with the Lions, I guess, just feeling comfortable and being able to rely on each other as well. And no, we've done this before, so let's just come back and do it again.
Let's take a look at the Nottingham roster. Some very experienced players here. Siobhan Pryor, the skipper, Team GB International, and of course Sky Sports analyst, was with us for the WBBL Cup final a little bit earlier on this season. Chelsea Shumpert, hugely talented player who suffered a fair amount of injury in her career, but is back and better than ever. Jasmine Joyner, another team leader as well. She's a major presence at both ends of the court, isn't she?
Yeah, exactly. She's a good team leader as well. She gets to make sure her team does what they need to do on the offensive end and the defensive end as well. I played against her a few times, and yeah, she's doing really well.
Rianne, experience always an important attribute to have going through the season, but particularly key on days like this.
Definitely, because in the tough moments, you're going to have to gel together as a team. And if you're experienced, that's going to happen naturally.
First time Nottingham have played the Lions at full strength this season, though, right?
Yeah, no, that's something I'm speaking to a couple of the Wildcats players. That's something that's on the back of their mind. So you talk about a psychological advantage. The focus is we're back to full strength, we're ready to get going. We know when we're at full strength, we are very capable. So it's going to be a completely different game than the previous two.
OK, let's find out a little bit more about the Wildcats and some of the personalities behind those names you've just been seeing on screen as we go inside the Nottingham locker room.
Oh, Siobhan, best shooter.
Siobhan Pryor, definitely.
If she goes off, you ain't gonna stop her. She's killer from free.
She shoot at any time, any place, and most of the time it's going in.
She's a pure shooter. Between Chelsea or Simone?
Simone or Chelsea?
Simone or Charles?
They're just nice and fluid with it.
Oh, I like Simone's moves. Simone got some tricks in the bag. Okay, I would say Simone. She's really crafty.
Had to go back to Chelsea.
Chelsea, definitely.
She does like a breakdown, size up, and it shifts everyone.
She made a couple people drop to the floor, so yeah, it's really nice. Chelsea, you're not my favorite, but Chelsea, once again, she has some nice handles.
Chelsea.
Definitely Chelsea. Have you seen what she can do on court?
I'll give that to myself. I've been handling the ball ever since I was like 4, literally.
She's just really natural with it.
Her handles on offense are insane.
Breakdown, size up, through the legs, behind the back, shimmies, everything.
If you switch on her, it's a nightmare to try and guard her.
She looks at job and rent moves and stuff like that. You can see her doing it. She's nice with it, yeah. Praise. Yeah, praise. Sorry, praise.
Probably praise. And then probably be like, sorry, guys.
No matter if it's plays we worked on from the beginning of the season or if it's a play that Coach dropped, it's going to be praise.
Me? Yeah, I'm a bit clumsy sometimes, but so I think, probably me.
I'm going to say Siobhan.
Siobhan. Probably Siobhan as well.
Me. Don't talk to me after we lose. I don't like losing anything.
She's always trying to win, even if it's like a warm-up drill.
She's just so competitive. She wants to win every game that we've got.
If she loses, you don't know what might happen. So yeah, I say Chevy.
Chelsea.
She has a history of doing that, so definitely Chelsea.
She's the go-to. She's done it before, so why not do it again?
I think that we can all say that we trust her to take that because she's proven herself many times. Well, I have a lot of confidence in myself, and I've had a lot of success on, having a few game winners, so I'll probably take that last shot.
And we hear from the Wildcats head coach now. He's courtside with Mike.
Thanks, Nat. I'm here sideline with Coach Liebberg. Coach, the first trophy final since 2015 and your first final as a coach. You've got to be excited for that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, how can you not be excited when you're in a final? I mean, obviously the last time we were in one as an individual was with Barkin, me and Mark on the same same sideline, and now we get to compete against each other and getting here with Nottingham's an exciting situation.
Definitely, and lots of injuries for you guys this season, including times that you have faced the Lions. How hard is it to find a rhythm this season?
Yeah, I mean, that's been a well-documented issue for us. We feel like when we've got everybody healthy, which we are healthy now, obviously we had to make some tough decisions, you know, dropping someone like Mariam Alawayan, one of our young stars, out to bring in Prezek Harebra, another young international rising star. You know, but we feel like the side we put on the floor, you know, we started to gel in the second half of that Manchester game as we were getting used to playing together. So hopefully that carries over to today and we just, you know, continue to improve as a group.
Definitely. And how's the build-up been towards this game?
Yeah, it's been good. We've had a good week of solid practice. You know, I think we felt really good after our performance in Manchester. You know, when you come off 2 losses against an opponent, you don't need much to be fired up against them. And you shouldn't need much to be fired up in a final anyway. But the build-up's been good. We've been able to work on ourselves a little bit more and look at the things we do well and, you know, develop the keys of the game from our perspective and just, you know, we feel ready.
That's great. Thanks. Good luck, Coach. Back over to you, Nat.
Appreciate you.
Thanks very much indeed, Mike. Ryan, it's an interesting point you made right at the top about excitement, because that must be one of the hardest things to contain. Of course, you want to try and treat this like any other game, but you've been in finals like this. Easier said than done, isn't it?
Much easier said than done, and it's just important that that excitement doesn't overspill and it doesn't cause you to make unforced errors. And you just got to really know what you're doing, what your strategy is, and really try and focus on that.
Does it play on your mind more if you make a mistake in a game like this? Does that tend to play on your mind more?
Yeah, it does, because every single play matters, and you know the importance of every play. And on a big stage like this, you don't want to make any mistakes. But you've just got to go out there and have fun and do what you've been doing all season.
Now, for Nottingham, there's a real core group that's been here together for a number of years. Chelsea Shumpert we'll look at first. Leads the team in assists, second leading point scorer. I mentioned her injury issues a little bit earlier. She's talked about how the whole process, Melissa, has made her come back stronger than ever. Not easy to deal with those setbacks at all, is it?
Yeah, not easy at all. I myself has come back from an injury too, so I can understand where she's coming from, because you're used to having your old body, so having a new body, you've got to make some adjustments.
Why is she such a key player for this Wildcat side?
Well, she's a point guard, and I think point guards are really important in basketball games because they control the tempo, they control a lot of things on the floor. So for her, I know she wants to come out and make sure she leads by example.
She's, incidentally, the cousin of Mookie Betts, World Series winner over in the States. We're getting tips from him, she said, in the build-up to this game. Jasmine Joyner, someone you describe, Rianne, as a walking double-double.
Absolutely. Jasmine Joyner is an absolute hustler. She never gives up on a play. As soon as the ball goes up, she's fighting for those offensive and defensive rebounds, and she can make big plays and ones to get her team fired up.
24 points, 15 rebounds in that semi-final win over Manchester. Difference maker there. Siobhan Pryor, vastly experienced and very dangerous from the perimeter as well. Her three-point shooting ranks her in the top 10 in the WBBL. London needs to be very mindful of that today.
Yeah, exactly. She's an experienced player as well. So on the floor for the other team, I'm pretty sure she comes off intimidating, which is good for her and Nottingham. So I look forward to seeing her hit some threes today.
We're seeing very much in the build-up to this game, as you can see the players on court. Siobhan absolutely leading by example as the skipper. A very relaxed approach to the build-up as well, which is interesting to see. That's the Wildcats. Next up, we're going to be taking a closer look at the Lions players gunning for the team's first WBBL trophy.
I've seen Chantelle bust out a move or two, and there's some rhythm behind it.
I got the old school moves. You know, you hit them with the, you know.
Welcome back to Worcester as our build-up of the WBBL Trophy Final continues, and we turn our attention now to the London Lions, who were unbeaten since November until a midweek loss in the league, to Sevenoaks. How much will that be playing on their minds right now, Kieran? The streak ending right before a major final.
Well, first off, I think Sevenoaks were out thinking that, because of COVID, they could have been here, so. But I don't think it's playing in their minds at all. I think maybe their minds were on the final. Maybe that's one of the reasons they were there. This is where, this is for them. This is everything. So I think that was the main focal point. And like I said, they'll bounce back. Coach Clark will have them ready, raring to go, and understand that they're not invincible. They have to stick to their guns.
With Team Invincible is a great word for them. They've been dominant in the WBBL League this season. Very much a franchise on the up. They've already won as many games this season as they had in their last 3 WBBL Championship campaigns. Who are some of the potential game winners, Rianne, in this new look side?
Definitely Kennedy Leonard and Cassie Breen. Those two together are a dynamic duo. Kennedy leading with assists, 10 points per game, and Cassie totaling the most amount of 3-pointers scored this season, but also the best percentage, so she's really efficient at that too, which is really important.
All right, let's find out a little bit more about the Lions as we go inside the London locker room.
The best player on the London Lions team is Kennedy Leonard.
I gotta go to my right hand, my PG, Kennedy Leonard.
She's a playmaker.
Great scorer.
She can do anything and everything.
She's doing it all.
And she can get rebounds, apparently.
Just all-around great leader.
That's what every coach wants in a player. That's what every player wants in a teammate.
Cassie Breen.
Cassie.
Anytime she's going to catch it, it's going in.
Whenever you give her the ball, she's going to make it happen.
Mamba mentality.
She knocks it down from XYZ.
There's really no shot Cassie cannot finish.
No hesitation, nothing.
She doesn't let anything knock her off her game when she's shooting.
This is true. I'm guilty.
Shanice Norton.
Shanice. I am 100% the best locker room DJ.
She'll play R&B, drill.
Plays all the genres. I'll mix it up a little bit.
I don't think I've ever heard anybody even play it other than her.
Actually, I'm gonna change my Instagram tag to official DJ for London Lions, yeah.
Yeah, that's my DJ right there.
I don't really know. I think it's a toss-up.
I would say Chantelle.
Chantelle.
I've seen Chantelle bust out a move or two, and there's some rhythm behind it. So I'm gonna elect her just because I see the potential.
I got the old school moves. You know, you hit them with the, yeah.
I can give you something with the shoulders, but.
I mean, I'm up there for sure. Sometimes I'll just whip it or throw it up and whoa.
I think we all like to get down.
I'm running too much to talk during games, so.
Probably Chantelle or Paige.
You know what, Chantelle, she could be.
Who will be me?
Chantelle is probably the biggest franchise talk on the team.
You just need to listen to this girl in a game.
Just hear her saying something and I'm just like, wow, okay.
If someone steals it, I'll be like, cookies, we love cookies. Or if someone shoots in your face, I'll pick something off the floor and then just put it like this.
She needs to be mic'd up in the game. I'm gonna say either Shanice or Cassie.
Cassie or Shanice.
Depends on the play, you see. You can't just pick one.
If it's a 3-point shot, Cassie. And if it's like a quick little shot, probably Ken or Shan.
I think we have a really good backcourt that's really confident, so any of us three.
Valentina. That's all I gotta say.
Valentina.
Probably, yeah, that's me.
Bumping into people like, oh, I'm sorry.
Valentina will take out her own teammate without even knowing.
I'm sorry.
In a game, I stepped on Chantelle's foot and then 2 seconds later, I bumped Kennedy in the head out of nowhere. It just happens.
But you would think the amount of time she does it, that she does it on purpose.
I'm clumsy.
Let's check back in with Mike, who's with the Lions head coach, Mark Clark.
Thanks, Nat. I'm here with Mark Clark. Mark, first trophy final appearance since 2016. How does it feel to be here?
It's always great to be in a final. I mean, that's what players play the game for. Get on a big stage and hopefully give it your best game and go away with a win.
An incredible run for you guys so far this season with only one loss in the championship. Unfortunately, that loss came in this last week. How will that play into today's game?
Well, straight after the game, I think it was done. That was the loss, and it was behind us. We always said we'd never, referred to the game today until after that game, and we took it in that way. We probably had our best practice of the season on Thursday, straight after the game, and you learn from every loss, and we learned some things, and hopefully that'll make us better today.
Do you prepare differently for a game like this?
I think a cliched statement would be no, you take on the opponent, you prepare, but there's always that added ingredient that there's some silverware. So there's some extra pressure. You know that the opponent is not going to go away. So you're still preparing to play the opponent. You're still preparing to execute your game. But being a final, there's extra pressure.
Thank you so much, Coach. Good luck. Back over to you, Nat.
He's a coach you've played for, Melita, and know well.
Yeah, exactly. Mark Clark is an amazing coach, in my opinion. You know what you're going to get from him, and you feel very comfortable playing with him because he's so experienced. And for the players as well, I know they're a new team, but their chemistry is there. You know, I've practiced with them a few times this season before signing to Oakland, and they're just well gelled together. So it's great for Mark to have a team like that.
Well, they're leading the league in points per game, averaging almost 18. A lot of that offensive firepower is down to Cassie Breen. Rianne, you think she's one of the best shooters in the league, don't you?
Yeah, definitely. Nottingham Wildcats are going to have to know where she is all the time. They're not going to. Don't let her breathe. Don't let her catch the ball, because as her teammates have said, as soon as she does, it's going up and it's money every time. So that's a big matchup for the Nottingham Wildcats.
Kennedy Leonard dished out 15 assists during the Lions semi-final win over the Riders. She's leading the league in 10 assists on average per game. So obviously the Wildcats need to find a way to stop her dictating terms, don't they?
Yeah, exactly. I think one of the key things for them is maybe picking her up a bit earlier as well, making sure that she's concentrating on her handles rather than who to pass it to. Just disrupt her, really. I think that's key for Nottingham this game.
Chantelle Charles, another offensive threat for the Lions, Rianne.
Yeah, she's a really experienced player. She's been in and out with the GB senior team, and she's very much a glue player. She can score, she can defend, so she's very versatile and a key player for the Lions.
Now, one of 4 Lions players averaging over 10 points per game this season, Stephanie Ume, real scoring depth in this roster. And, of course, they can get points from all across the court. Who do you think has got a stronger bench out of the two, Melita?
It's tough because both teams have academy players on the roster as well, which I think is great. It's great for them to get experience. So I think it's pretty even on the bench.
Too hard to call. How important do you think a strong start is, Rianne, for the Wildcats? Because the Lions are a team that we've seen can close out games by the half sometimes when they're on a roll.
It's so important to start well in these finals, especially in any game, but especially in the finals, because it's going to be the first team to let go of their nerves. And once you can start to relax into a game like this, then we start to see what the teams are really made of.
Speaking of nerves, what kind of feelings and emotions are the players experiencing just minutes before tip-off, Kieran?
You know, it's different experiences. You know, I was watching Nottingham Wildcats. They were here so early today. I think kind of getting those nerves out, you know, kind of getting used to, adjusted to the court. When I'm looking at the Lions, they look very relaxed. So I think the focal point is like, okay, let's get this game up and running. Let's just start, make a couple of shots and see where it takes us there.
All right, thanks very much indeed. Time to get our first final underway, taking you through our commentary team of Ant Rowe and Dan Ratledge.
Thank you very much, Nat. Good afternoon, everybody. It is always a special day in the basketball calendar, Trophy Finals Day. And we have the light show to get us underway. Unfortunately, not the crowd still, but they will try and make this as big an event as possible. And it is a big day for both these teams, a chance to get their hands on this trophy for the first time. You've played in these big games, and 5 minutes or so before tip-off, what is going through the mind in that situation?
I was always really focused and just wanting tip-off to come sooner. You know, warm-up was always too long for me. I just wanted to get the ball in the air and get in the deep end and just start going. And I'm sure both of these teams will have that mentality as well. As we already commented, the teams getting here 2-3 hours before a game, which can seem like an eternity. You just want the ball to be thrown up in the air so you can go and play.
Well, it is the London Lions who come out first. Their second ever final. This club goes back through the Barking Abbey Crusaders, now under the London Lions brand. The one consistency through all of that is Mark Clark, one of the most experienced coaches in British basketball. Goes all the way back to the early 80s. A very great basketball mind. He's had every role in the game, but he always comes back to coaching. It's his passion, it's what he does the best, and he's got so much knowledge and insight to the game.
And we've seen the difference in that in all types of British basketball. The coach with the most experience can sometimes bring the best out in the players, and you know, it's no coincidence this team is currently sitting 8-1 in the league. You know, they're in a final here, a chance to win some silverware, and I'm sure that's got a substantial part due to the coach.
Well, finals were a very regular occurrence for the Nottingham Wildcats since the onset of the WBBL. They made 6 in 3 years, but this is actually their first since January 2018. So there are not many familiar faces left on the roster from those early days, but a club steeped in tradition, goes all the way back to the 70s, a club used to challenging at the top end, a club that expects to get to finals, and here they are once again on finals day.
Well, even if some of these individuals haven't been experienced it themselves, the stories trickle down, Dan. You know, please believe me when I say, you know, the Nottingham Wildcats legends will have talked about those stories, and it then ekes into the current unit now, and they'll be wanting to match expectations and be one of those teams that are then talked about for the next years to come.
Well, it is one of those things. Legacy builds on itself, really, and they pass it on down to the next generation. And the two teams going into the huddle just a few minutes away from tip-off here in Worcester in the WBBL Trophy Final. Let's take a look at some of the numbers that matter. We talk about them, but really, you look on the Nottingham Wildcats and their leaders, Shumpert, we know all about. Joyner is a legitimate double-double, as you say. Those two, Shumpert and Joyner, key to what Nottingham do.
Huge pieces of the puzzle, and obviously the Lions, you know, game plan are going to be to try and neutralise them. So what that means is the others have to step up. You know, they have to get big contributions across the board as well. You know, an experienced player in Siobhan Pryor has to be big today.
Cassie Breen at the other end, one they've got to somehow keep off that three-point line. Let's have a look at the numbers here between the two teams. Two teams that can certainly put the ball in the basket. You see how well they do offensively versus defensively. They've got some way to try and break the other side down, but well, we're almost ready for tip-off here. We will have the WBBL Trophy Final right after this break.
means a lot to the club and us.
We fought here. We deserve this.
We're heading into the trophy final, ready to take it back to Nottingham.
Winning it will mean everything.
To get to this point is huge for us. It's another notch in our belt. I like winning.
Welcome back to Worcester, seconds away from tip-off here in the WBBL Trophy Final. Nottingham Wildcats against the London Lions. Let's take a look at the starting fives for the two teams, starting with the Nottingham Wildcats. We've talked a lot about Joyner, we talked a lot about Shumpert. Siobhan Pryor grew up with this team. This is her team. She's been in all the WBBL finals. She went to the ones when she was a little kid. She is the passion of this team.
That passion is an absolute asset to any basketball club. So, look out for Pryor to be able to translate that on the court. And then you look at the others as well in that line. Costa, for me, was really good in that semi-final when they went on a run there. 10 points a game from her. Let's
take a look at the London Lions lineup. And again, we've talked a little bit about Leonard and Breen already, but Shanice Beckford-Norton averages double figures for this team. They've got weapons in different places.
She does, and look, she's from LSU, a massive outfit in the States, so she's no stranger to playing on the big stage and a high-stake game. So you look for her to have a big one, and you've got a 6'4" centre as well inside there that will look to change shots, rebound the ball, and just be a nuisance.
Well, we have seen across British basketball all season teams taking the knee before tip-off in their show of solidarity against racism and inequality in all its forms. And we are now ready for the trophy final. Nottingham and London going head-to-head for the prize, and it is Leonard and the Lions who will get the opening possession of the ball game. And immediate space, and that's not what they want to see on the first play.
No, it's not, and that can give Breen the world of confidence. Hitting that first shot in the final can open the floodgates.
And I'm delighted to say Melita has joined us in commentary, and Cassie Breen knocking down that shot on the first play, exactly what London do want to see.
Yeah, exactly, and I'm pretty sure that got her nerves out as well. But I think Nottingham need to do a lot better job in covering her, making sure that she doesn't put up those shots.
Well, it is going to be Pryor who's going to be chasing around. I suppose the upside is they kept her off the three-point line. That might be the one positive out of it. Here's Leonard dropping it inside. Nice work from Robinson, unable to convert close in.
Well, didn't convert on that play, but it's a good play. Pass inside to the post player, and Robinson made a strong move towards the basket.
Knocked away. Good steal by Leonard in transition. Drew the defense, and nice pass at the end of it. Great point guard play.
It really is there, and that pressure's looking really good from this London team early, and results in 2 points off a turnover there.
And I think that's what they're good at as well. Good defense and to lead them into transition scores.
That looked really bad.
And the thing is as well, Dan, I've been in that very situation there. It's not the pain that's causing her the discomfort. It's something, when you've done something. When you've torn your knee, and just by the way she's reacting and the emotion that she's got already, I think she knows that she's done something serious there, and what that means is she's not going to be part of this amazing feature that she's worked so hard to be a part of.
Well, yeah, you did it in a televised game as well. I remember up in Newcastle a few years back. Now she's helped off the court. Well, I suspect that is the end of her day. One hopes it is not as bad as it looked there, and it is not the end of her season.
Well, if there was ever a picture of adversity, it's now down 4 early with your best player, arguably your best player, leave the court for injury. Nottingham Wildcats have to muster up some bravery here and respond.
And I think it's now it's important for someone else on the team to step up. So they just need to keep their head in the game and keep focused and make sure that they can come out with this win. And you see here with the great defense.
Great defensive stop. Shumpert coming down court. Fires up the early three, can't get it to go.
2 early shots from Shumpert. She's looking to put her mark on the game early. Hasn't quite worked out for her yet.
Leonard fires up the three, and it's a 7-0 Lions lead.
She went under the screen there, which what that meant is it gives Leonard so much more space to get that shot off.
Tipped out of bounds. And we will apologise if you heard any language during that injury. I'm sure you can understand the emotion of it, but we do apologise for it. Pryor trying to sneak the pass in back door, kicked out of bounds, and it will be an end line ball once again. Volley out of bounds there. Trying to get it in to driving hard, and that will be something they do want to see. She's got big shoes to fill. Great start.
She has, and her responsibilities have just increased dramatically, and what a response from her in start.
Leonard with a lot of space there. They lost her again for 3, knocks it down.
That's what you have to do when you're defensive, on the defensive end. You've got to react, and you've got to neutralise the things that have been hurting you early. They didn't on that occasion.
Drive to the basket, no good for Costa. Another 3, and they're just flying in all over the place. Beckford Norton this time with the triple. 3 of 3, the Lions from behind the arc.
This London Lions team are noticing a weakness, and they're trying to exploit it. 3-point line, firing very efficiently at the moment.
Jumper. Throwing it inside, and foul is called. And a chance for Lundqvist to get the scoreboard ticking from the free throw line.
Good move here from Lundqvist. Good use of the pump fake, and use that spin to get back to the basket. Got the defenders to commit the foul.
Yeah, that's a great move there, and I think that's probably one of their keys as well, to get the ball inside and get Paige Robinson in foul trouble.
Both of them good from the free throw line. Cuts the gap to 9. Leonard bringing it forward. Beckford Norton. Round again to Leonard. On the pick and roll from the free throw line. Tough shot, knocks it down.
Defensively, they were better there, Wildcats, but it didn't matter because Leonard's confidence is high, and when your confidence is high, you hit shots.
He's got 8 points already. Nice pass, and another foul. And once again, 2 more free throws coming for the Wildcats.
Again, they go inside, and Lundqvist with a really well timed cut there. See another trip to the free throw line. Been a positive start though for Egareva. Like, she's been thrown into this game a lot sooner than what she would have imagined, and you know, when she's got the ball in her hands, good things have happened. And
there we go.
Rebound here.
Right on cue, can't convert the putback, but they still have it, the Wildcats. Lundqvist shots off the mark, and that will stay with Nottingham. And well, if they can crash the glass and get second and third chance opportunities, that's one way of clawing their way back into this game. A little reach over the back on Robinson. Her first foul.
Well, you said that as well, Melita. If they can get her in early foul trouble, that's a 6'4" centre getting out of the game, which creates a little bit more space down low to work around the basket.
Yeah, exactly. I think they're forced it in a little bit there, but I think that's very important for them to keep going at the bigs, underlying bigs.
Bringing for 3 off the mark. Fight for the ball on the floor, and it will be a hell ball. Possession arrow favouring the Wildcats, so it'll be a Nottingham ball.
Great effort there from Beckford Norton. The rebound you think was secured there, but Beckford Norton got her hands around that one. Got the tie up.
Yeah, she used to play volleyball actually, so she's got some bounce to her. Don't underestimate her.
Multi-talented, transferable skills. It works.
Well, a bit too much zip on that one from Shumpert. straight out of bounds. She's had a shaky minute or two. A couple of early shots in the offense. That wasn't the best pass.
I think that's her game though as well, taking those early shots, having kind of like a heat check to see, okay, where's my range at today?
Well, they're hoping it'll find its range shortly, because they're going to need a big game from her offensively, no doubt about that. They've lost 20 points out of their regular offense already. Here's Lundqvist, who's certainly been effective in the early stages. Out to Pryor for 3, off the mark. Well, when we were talking about her pre-game, we cut to the overhead camera. She hit 3 in a row from that very spot in the warm-ups, but the first one in the game doesn't drop.
It was a good look, though. I think a really good cross-court pass there from the post from Lundqvist in there. And Pryor had a good look at the basket.
Is Breen, and is fouled by Pryor, who's got her work cut out for her at both ends of the floor, chasing Breen around, and you can see caught her on the arm. And the other thing about Breen is she gets that shot away quick, so if you're half a step behind, you're too far behind.
Exactly, even with a hand up, even if you are there on the catch, it's like she can move the ball around your hand to still get that shot off. So really and truly, you just don't want to let her catch the ball.
Well, she had a spell around the start of this year where in 4 games she was 23 of 38. 23 of 38 from the three-point line.
Wow. And even when you look at her figures now, they're incredible. You know, the amount of threes she shoots, and she's shooting at 41.4%. That's insane numbers. It's incredible production.
Yeah, in some ways, the real volume shooters, you can almost cope with their percentage being a bit lower, but hers is super high, and, as you say, a real volume three-point shooter. Off drive in, but there's Lundqvist again trying to keep it alive. This time it's pulled away by Beckford-Norton. Out to Leonard. Nice pass inside. Well, they recovered well enough there, the Wildcats. It was a bit of a miss with Robinson open inside. Beckford-Norton off the mark. Driving in, tough one, not quite, and that's going to be a foul there on Lundqvist, who I think knew they were in a bit of trouble there, couldn't let them get away.
Just really good individual defense from Beckford-Norton as well. She kept Strumpet in front of her, and she's longer than her and bigger as well, so when the shot did go up, she got to challenge that, which makes things even more difficult for Strumpet there.
Even in the last few games where they played against each other as well, Shanice has done very good on Schampert. She's kept her below her average, so I'm sure Schampert here will try to go against that and try to put some baskets.
Nice pass in from just a little something. The referee calming down. I don't think there was much in that.
Let them play, ref. I like the fire. This is a final. Let them go.
Well, it's an end-line ball. 3:50 to go in the opening quarter. Oh, wide open. Oh, blown layup from underneath. I think Jume couldn't believe how much space she had.
Yeah, she was too open.
Oh, that's a nice pass, but just not caught. And another turnover from the Wildcats.
And that's the only thing I think you have to see here. If that's a partnership between Schampert and Joyner, that's 2 points, isn't it? It's a guaranteed bucket, and we go down the other end. That's the adjustment, I think, and what we're going to have to see here.
5 turnovers for Nottingham in the first quarter. Schampert pulls up for 3, strings it! Big shot from Chelsea Schampert.
Wow, she hasn't been shy so far in this ball game, and that was a difficult shot, but nothing but net.
Diving on the floor, trying to get the loose ball. Lions recover. Beckford-Norton hits the shot from 17 feet.
It's a game of fine margins. You almost go get a turnover, but London secure the ball, and Beckford-Norton again to save the day at the with the rotation.
Freeman driving in, trying to feed it into the paint, but away come the Lions. Charles, nice pass. Foul call, basket is good.
What a play.
It really was the spin around pass there to the perfectly positioned Ume for the finish.
Thrown it out the back door there. And her eyes on the teammate the whole time, and a chance to turn it into 3.
Ume, a player coming off the bench, but she averages 13 points a game and 6 rebounds. And you know, again, went to a very good university in Cornell, so we expect her to have a big game.
You see that she gets an offensive rebound too, and that's one thing that another one here, as we see, that's one thing she's amazing at doing, getting those rebounds.
And the second one was stolen away by Shumpert from miles out, front rims it. Great hustle on the floor, came off a foot there, so it will be a Nottingham ball. But again, great work from Lundqvist. She's been really active here in the first quarter. There you can see, and they're trying to just bring it with her, using the foot.
A cheeky step over there to get the start of the offense.
Leonard went down, and Lions just about recovered. It's tipped out of bounds and will stay with the Wildcats.
Rose had a good look underneath there. Good use of the pump fake as well. She did the hard part. She got the defender in the air. She couldn't quite finish the play.
Gurianova into the game for the first time. I said there's no players left from that Barking Abbey team that played in the trophy final 6 years ago. Her mum played in that trophy final, Gurianova. So there is still a slight link. Oh, and a turnover. Shumpert says, thank you very much. We'll chase it back. And Beckford Norton wasn't given anything easy there. Foul is called, but that's one of those plays where you like the hustle even though the foul is committed.
I love this matchup. I think you were spot on. I think this is going to be a battle all day today, and I think Beckford Norton fancies her chances, and Shumpert is no stranger to being high on confidence, so I think we've got a good battle on our hands watching that matchup.
I don't think either of them are taking a step back in that matchup either.
Oh no, as you can see from the replay, stare downs at the end there, a few words exchanged too. So guys, we've got a good game that we can see right now.
Well, Shumpert doesn't convert from the 3-throw line. And over. Charles. Beckford Norton for 3, got caught. Will go to the free throw line.
It's a really aggressive defensive set there from the Wildcats. They were double teaming pretty early and pretty high. What that means is that you're forever scrambling, trying to get back to your man, and it'll rotate. And on that occasion, that scramble got the foul on the three-point shooter.
And Barking are really good at finding the open player as well, so they're very patient, and it's a shame for Nottingham really, because they are scrambling hard, but
old habits die hard. London Lions, they have come out of the Barking name and now London Lions, but it is one of those that sticks with you for a while.
Yeah, exactly. I'm a Barking girl as well. I went to the sixth form, so just habits.
Well, they say don't foul the three-point shooter twice in this quarter. They've been to line for 3. Oh, and it's saved, but probably would have been better off letting that go out of bounds.
Sometimes you don't always get what you deserve. Good hustle.
That pass a little too high for Freeman to reach, and just a little bit of pressure. Nothing too sinister, but enough to discombobulate Nottingham a little bit.
I think the huge concern for the Wildcats at the moment, that's their 7th turnover. And, you know, this Lions team, they want the opposition to turn the ball over. They lead the league in creating turnovers, and Wildcats have to look after that basketball.
Bit of a slip there from Ume, able to keep possession of the ball, and a foul called. The Wildcats over the limit, so it'll be 2 free throws here. Well, when points are hard to come by, which they are for Nottingham, unsurprisingly, given they've lost one of their best scorers, giving the other team free throws is a bad way of trying to stay in the game. And they've obviously had a couple on a three-point shot, and now they're over the limit, and given that one there, you wonder, well, you can see the leg is braced up for Jasmine Joyner. Presumably, they're waiting for an ambulance or something. I'm sure she'll be taken away. It looked really bad. Freeman for three. Off the mark. Leonard bringing it forward. Hands off to Breen. Leonard on the high pick and roll, gets to the elbow. Good ball movement from the Lions, just didn't have the finish.
Really good offense though from the Lions, and Ume couldn't quite finish it. Uncharacteristic as well, she shoots around 60%, very efficient usually.
Shumpert, another deep three, knocks it down.
Wow, great shot from deep as well, so I'm sure we're going to see more of that throughout the game.
Well, in some ways, they're going to need her to have like a 40-point game, aren't they?
Which she's capable of.
Which she is capable
of. Very capable.
Her mindset tells me she can do it too. It's very aggressive early on.
Here's Pryor. Shot clock being counted down by the bench. Trying to go to work. Spins back into a little trouble, gets it away to Shumpert. Looks at the referee, no whistle coming. Here's Leonard in transition. What a beautiful pass. Oh, it should have been an assist. But somehow, Ume unable to convert there. Well, it's been a dramatic opening quarter here in Worcester. Sadly, not all for the right reasons. One of the best players has left Nottingham, but the Lions have taken control of the game. They lead by 15 at the opening quarter. We will be right back with the second quarter after this break. Welcome back to Worcester. We're about to start the second quarter here in the WBBL Trophy Final, and it is the London Lions with the ball and the 15-point lead. Can Nottingham find some way to overcome this adversity they faced in the opening 10 minutes.
Going back to their last game.
Leonard, all went off the screen. Schumpert through the contact will go to the line for 2. Sorry, Melita, you were saying about their last game.
Yeah, the last game, it was pretty similar in score. So, and Joyner was in foul trouble. She actually got 4 fouls in the second quarter. So I guess Nottingham can say you're kind of used to this. Okay. So maybe we can see a comeback here, because in the last game, in the second quarter, they made it like a 2-point game, I believe. So hopefully they can bring it back.
And the emotion as well of being in the final, like you said, you never know what's going to happen. Like it's now or never. So Wildcats just have to find a way, I think, to be more secure defensively and get stops.
Bedford Norton. Tough shot off the mark. Jump up with the rebound. Here's Freeman in transition. Back to Pryor, steps into the 3, a little short. But again, working hard on the glass is Lundqvist.
She's been brilliant early in this game so far.
Schumpert for 3, front iron again. This time Leonard gets her hands on it. May crowded out of it. Beckford Norton for the triple. Pryor is first on the ground, and that will be a Nottingham ball.
Good signs this quarter, though. Couple, consecutive stops. That's what you want. You'd want to get consecutive stops there. Couple baskets on the other end, and that makes London teams a little bit tighter. When people are tighter, those shots are harder to make.
Well, in some ways, Nottingham have a free hit at it now. There's almost no pressure on them, isn't there? And for London, they sort of go, well, we're up, and they've lost this player, and it can have. Oh, Freeman misses the shot after leaving the defender on the floor.
Freeman's been a bit quiet today. In the last game against the Lions, she put up quite a lot of threes, so I'm expecting her to come alive soon.
Here's Beckford Norton. Creates a little space for herself and in off the glass.
Beckford Norton's a baller, isn't she? Both ends of the floor, she very impactful, and nice little break with that space with the body there, and a nice bank shot.
Moving screen called there against Lundqvist. Charles coming back into the game for the Lions. That was the second foul on Lundqvist, who's forced, it's Freeman who's forced the turnover. Well, that was a sloppy one. Let's have another look. Should have been really easy, and, well, I say forced the turnover. It was unforced error, really, wasn't it? Schumpert from deep in front of that great offensive rebound, and foul is called. They're up in there again.
Well, that's the thing. We're always looking at the mismatch, what's going on at the top here, and Schumpert and Robinson against each other. But it's the shot misses, and then you see the mismatch down low, the big down there with the guard, and nice rebound there, Magwaragba. Green checks in for her.
Good. Well, she's not the best free throw shooter on the team, but the first one is good. And they both drop. Here's Charles. Good Norton. Poked loose, but illegally so. And the foul is called on Schumpert, and that's her second.
going to have to be extremely careful now. She is a player they cannot afford to have extended minutes on the bench, and it's close as well, isn't it? There's a ball there.
Leonard for 3 off the mark.
Wildcats got away with one there. They cannot continue to keep going under that screen with Leonard there.
But it's hard too, because if you go over, she's really good at snaking it and passing the ball. So what do you do?
Great work from Robinson defensively to deny the way to basket there. Throws it away. Good fast break, nice pass from Freeman, and some easy points in transition for Costa.
Well, that's what they're saying. Costa's very deadly at is getting out in transition, athletic, attacking the rim, and hopefully for her first 2 points of the game, that'll get her confidence going.
Breen through and got caught late, and Cassie Breen will go to the line for 2.
Good aggression there from Breen, who's ran off the 3-point line. And, frustrating foul again from the Nottingham Wildcats.
Well, they got into foul trouble, team foul trouble early on in the first quarter, and they've got 3 here, but more worrying for them is that's Paige's 3rd foul as well. And we talked about the extra role she's going to have in the game with Joyner being out, and now on 3 fouls, suddenly they look very small as a unit, don't they?
Yeah, exactly. I think it's tough because she is, like we've said before, filling in big boots, but I guess she's just got to keep going hard.
I guess the coach has to sit her now, though. Being on 3, I think he's rolled the dice now to this point of the game, but she exits. And I mean, the plus side, you've got someone like Lundqvist, who's been incredibly active. She can pick up the slack there. She's been very, very aggressive on the boards, and maybe there has to be a bigger responsibility for her now, in and around the basket.
Yeah, I think they can try to look to pass it to her in a deep seal, because she seals very well. So I think they're probably talking about that now, getting the ball inside to her and trying to get Paige Robinson into some more fouls, or whoever else subs in for Paige.
Well, I suppose the other thing is you could just, modern basketball, who needs a centre? Let's just put 5 guards out there and try and run them off the court.
It's an option, yeah.
You're nodding, but you disagree, don't you? You're like,
it's a very,
we need the big man.
It's a very dangerous. I mean, just because of the other assets, you're obviously focusing primarily on offense there, but defensively, that big body inside can change shots. It makes things very, very difficult. Those high percentage shots as well that maybe, a Beck would get inside, or another big would be able to finish. And Ume as well. She's had a really quiet start to this game, but she's an inside presence that can score buckets. High percentage buckets inside as well. So, for that very reason, you need some sort of resistance inside. But, Wildcats at the moment, they're 2 for 10 from the 3-point line, so they haven't shot the ball well from the perimeter. So, law of averages, you would say naturally that's going to change. But again, you're going to need Shumpert to step up, and Pryor as well. They need Pryor to respond here now and get some points on the board.
Chloe Gaynor into the game for Nottingham, and that I was again referring back to that 2016 trophy final. She did actually play in that for Barking at the time. A 14-point lead for the Lions. Cross court, Shumpert with space for 3, you just can't leave her that close to the line, that open.
That's a really good play. Costa's brought the ball up here. She's trying to make a move on the right side of the court, which then distracts the defense and puts focus on her. Great cross-court pass there and a knockdown from Shumpert.
I'm sure Mark Clark's not going to be happy about that, because she's hit 2 already, so you don't want to keep her going. You want to kind of shut that down.
Leonard again, they go under the screen. Doesn't make it this time. That's Beckford on the offensive glass. Beckford Norton driving all the way to the hole for 2.
She has been so tough. Big plays at big times. Big offensive rebound for her to keep that alive, and an aggressive move to the rim.
Shumpert around the screen. Gets an inch of space, and that's all she needs. Back-to-back threes for Chelsea Schumpert.
Schumpert's heating up.
She's up to 13 of her team's 24. Charles' pass is deflected away, and there's going to be, I think, an offensive foul in there. Is it? Yes, it is. Foul called on Paige Robinson for the hold. It says the pass is down in the bottom there. Yeah, she just got her arm on the shoulder to make sure that Gaynor doesn't get to the ball before her.
I didn't see it in real time, but the replays help help us in that instance there. Good spot from the ref there.
That's number 2 on Robinson. Schumpert driving in, kicks back out to Pryor. Has the pass denied by Leonard. Leonard to Breen underneath, and the foul is called. They were always kind of chasing that.
They were, and London's done a really good job of making them work when they are trying to pick up the slack or react to their defensive set. And again, London get they're not like there again, is it? I mean, she stood straight up there, but Breen's done a good job of getting the defense to commit the fouls.
And the Lions 10 of 12 from the free throw line. Make that 11 of 13. Perfect 7 of 7 for Cassie Breen. That's just a little too, I'm right behind it, just a little too wide on the stance, wasn't it? From Gaynor for the screen.
So tempting as well, just when you set the screen to lean into it, she's just not set. And
well, it's always the guard's fault if you don't get the player to run into the screen, but
I agree with that statement. Yeah,
it's always the big who's chasing it gets the foul.
But I don't think she was really intending on using the screen.
There's another one on a three-point shot. Pryor with her arms up in the air, questioning that call.
Well, it's very rare you'll see this many fouls on three-point shooters. We've seen, what's that, 3 or 4 now in this half alone.
3, yeah. I thought you were going to say it's very rare that you'd see Siobhan put her hand up and admit to a foul that she'd committed.
that too. She's on our media team, so I'm saying nothing but nice things about Pryor.
The problem is that they just ticks. These single points, they all add up. And the Wildcats are not a million miles away here. You know, they've sort of, it's stayed at sort of 10 to 15, hasn't it? And if they could turn those fouls into stops. Breen is 10 of 10 from the free throw line. She's got 10 of her 12 points from the line. Here's Schumpert off the back of the ring. For Norton taking it hard to the hole, and well, she took all the defense away, and Ume just got an easy rebound and stick back.
Yeah, that's what she does, and she does it well.
It was an excellent defensive possession from her as well on the other end of the floor. Excellent defense on Schumpert on that occasion, and you're right, she pushes the basketball, and literally 2 seconds, 3 seconds later, she's down the other end of the floor and takes 2 players with her.
Well, Nottingham having to call a timeout here. 4 minutes and 10 seconds to go to halftime, and they've got to just find some way of hanging into this game and give themselves a chance of making a run in the fourth quarter. You can lose the game in these 4 minutes. You can't win the game in these 4 minutes, but you can let it get away from you, and they've just got to think, right, 4 minutes, get to halftime, regroup.
Exactly, I'm pretty sure here Kendrick's drawing up a play because they are struggling to get easy shots, because you see Schumpert scoring these difficult shots, but again, it's kind of hard to win a game to try, well, from these difficult shots.
That's a really, really good point. Nottingham Wildcats at the moment, they're relying on brilliance from one player. Difficult shots, step back threes. Incredibly difficult shots. It's not sustainable. It's not. So you're right. It's 100%. They've got to find a way here to get higher percentage shots first of all, but also find a structure where they feel comfortable offensively. I still feel like when they come down, they're still a bit too turnover prone for me. They've got to look after the basketball. If they turn the ball over, this London Lions team will extend this lead.
Well, 10 turnovers in the game so far for Nottingham.
And they had 7 at the quarter as well, so they've been better this quarter. But
oh, there's another one. Well, Mark Clark, I think, sensing these 4 minutes could be decisive in this trophy final. Under the screen again. And again on the offensive glass, and it almost feels like repeating itself. Offensive rebounds and free throws and turnovers, and we've seen all 3 of them in the last 20 seconds.
Yeah, and I think that's a demoralising thing for Nottingham Wildcats, is their energy and their passion is there. They're just not quite executing on the defensive end. It often results in a foul, which gives the London Lions trips to the free throw line. The thing is as well, I mean, London are shooting, it's 15 for 17 from the free throw line, so it's a team that shoots the ball very well from the free throw line as well. It's not a, it's not a hack a shack option, is it? No. Such high percentage shots.
Well, they've got 10 extra points. Nottingham have 6 points from the line. They've got 16. In a 19-point game. Leonard. Green kind of trap, knocked away by Pryor. Here comes Shumpert. Nice pass ahead, and under some pressure can't convert. London running the other way. They have numbers here. Nice ball movement. Good for 3. Hell ball goes the way of the Lions.
Substitutions for Wildcats. Must be frustrating for Nottingham there, because they've had 2 open looks and they're unable to convert. It's tough.
Well, it's a sort of game and the situation in the game where everything like that has to go in for them. And they've got to find some way in the second half of keeping London off the free throw line. If the Lions make another 16, 18 free throws in the second half, there's not going to be enough points for the Wildcats to be able to chase down. And they're also in foul trouble as well, because that is another player on 3. Nice. Just a little too strong off the glass. Had everything but the finish. Leonard. Another great pass. And another easy lay-in. Who made that?
I suppose she averages 10 assists a game. Excellent push to the basketball there, and found her teammate for an easy finish.
By the way, the record in trophy final is 9, so if she just gets her average, she'll set the trophy final record. That doesn't happen very often, does it?
Nor does it to average 10 assists a game. That's
right.
Incredible.
That's why I'm laughing.
I went a whole career without getting anywhere close to 10 assists.
I don't think you had 10 assists in your career, did you?
Wasn't my job, though. No.
Pryor needs to get it in here, throws it back, and Costa's able to get there. Driving in, and doesn't get the bounce on the ball on that occasion.
Excellent move to the rim as well, but couldn't finish. And Wildcats are stuck on 11 points for the quarter.
And well, the Lions are certainly not stuck. The points rattling in. Kuzmanovic with her first score of the game. This has it knocked away. Nottingham ball.
The Lions' defensive structure looks so solid, and Wildcats just cannot crack it. They're really struggling to finish the ball, but first and foremost, they're struggling to get good looks at the rim consistently.
Yeah, I mean, even when they have got to the basket, we've seen the last couple where they've not been able to finish because it's been such hard work getting there. They're either too fast or they're slightly off balance and just not able to score. And these are the moments you've got to find some way of keeping the scoreboard ticking, and they haven't.
Right, and then Lions are breaking out in transition from Nottingham's missed baskets.
And all the while, Jasmine Joyner has to watch on, knowing that she can't contribute to her team in the way that she was expecting to, in the way that she had trained to and planned for.
And that's the thing, it's not just the 20 points she gives you, it's the second chance opportunity she does provide for the team as well. If you're going on a Wildcats team that aren't shooting the ball particularly well, you'd be surprised how much more of a momentum swinger that is when you get an offensive rebound putback. It's a demoralizer to the defense, and it kind of keeps your team in it, and that's what they're not getting from Joyner's absence in this game as well.
And she's a team leader as well. She's on everyone's back. We need to do this, we need to do that, and she takes accountability. So they're missing that as well.
And defensively, it's one less person that you have to concentrate on, so you've got more, pressure on other people who can score. So it suddenly becomes harder for the Shumperts and the Pryors and the rest of the team to get the looks that they would normally get. Here's Shumpert, beautiful drive to the basket, and I thought for a second that might spin out, but that one did drop.
I did too, based on the last couple of layups we've seen, but she is excellent at in and out move there to get all the way past the baseline to the rim.
100 seconds left in the first half here. Lions looking to stretch their already large lead. Leonard driving all the way to the basket. No mistake for her.
That's so tough, but you've got to look at the defense there. It was a right-hand dribble all the way to the basket with no resistance or no help defense coming across there to challenge her.
And that all started from an offensive rebound as well.
Yep.
Turnover. Charles with the steal, kicks it out in front. Breen on her own. Nice, easy score for Cassie Breen in transition. And this one really getting away from Nottingham in the last few minutes. Shumpert. She's got a bit of room. Has a switch. Wants to go to work. Fires up the three. Off the mark.
I think that's why Nottingham are struggling a little bit, because the Lions are switching everything, and it's hard to create anything off of a switch, because everyone on the Lions team is so diverse. They can guard inside or they can guard the outside.
Well, we've talked about fouls as an issue here, and that is Shumpert's third personal foul. She's the third Nottingham player to get to three, but I don't think that you change up the game plan in the second half. She's out there until she fouls out, I guess.
I don't think coach has got much choice, is he? Again, you're not going to get a chance here to make this up. It's either, roll the dice now for everything all in, or accept that you're going to come runner up, in the trophy final.
Yeah, and she's smart too, so I can see she's probably going to back up a little bit on the defensive end and use more energy on the offensive end.
See how hard it is just to get the ball over the halfway line at the minute.
Excellent pressure from London.
Shumpert, oh, she was trying to throw it cross court and it came off the ring. Shot clock is off. Ume doesn't matter anyway. She's out. And that's going to be a foul. And it's going to be an and one.
Great look there. Good run on the floor from Ume, but don't foul like she has the advantage there. And I think you just got to let her go. 12 points, 4 rebounds. And that was for a very slow start as well. She struggled early on, missing a couple easy layups inside, but she's killed them off the bench.
She's up to 13 points, 5 of 9, as you say, missed a few of the early ones. Last couple of seconds of the first half, can Nottingham get one final score? Shumpert trying to find the room for it. Foul is called on the floor, and they're not over the limit, so with 1.1, it's going to be a sideline ball. Not much in that.
The foul actually probably makes things harder for Wildcats here. They've got to try and muster something up with 1.1 left on the clock with the defense set up.
Well, Pride tried to throw it in quickly, but the horn sounds, and that will do it. And a monster lead for the London Lions at the half. They've scored the most points in a trophy final first half with 56, and they've kept Nottingham to just 26 and a 30-point lead. And they did what they had to do. You know, you see the other team's best player go down, you got to take advantage of it. And I think the key here, 19 free throws, the way they got to that, the way they got to the line, and the way they pressured the ball for the 14 turnovers, the two key stats.
Well, it's been a constant wave of pressure, isn't it, from this London Lions team. They saw their key player go down. They didn't stop and worry or give any type of sympathy. They pounced on that, and they took full advantage of that. And even they had a bit of a slow start in that second quarter, but you know, they found a way to put points on the board via the free throw line.
Well, certainly did. And then, well, Nottingham in a massive hole. They've got to find some way back into this game. Can they do that? Let's go down courtside and get some reaction with Nat.
Thanks, Dan. Yes, indeed. A big task ahead for Nottingham. Let's find out how they're going to get back into this from their skipper. Siobhan Pryor is courtside with Mike.
Siobhan, probably the most pivotal moment of the game happened in the first 2 minutes when Jasmine Joyner went down. What was the mood on the court after that happened?
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's tough. She's like a leader, and she was a big part of this game plan. They struggle inside London, and a lot of the stuff we prepared for was, you know, put the ball inside. Let's move off of Jazz, and it's not just putting the ball inside and her scoring. It helps us to get our shots on the outside. You know, guards running off of her. It threw a lot off, but you know, it's happened now, and we've got to bounce back. We can't use that as an excuse.
Definitely. And how are you going to look to keep spirits high after this?
You know, we just have to. We're winning for the club, like we're winning for Jazz. We have to think of it like that. She would want us to go out and work hard and play our hearts out. So that's all we have to do.
It seems getting points on the board has been an issue for you guys. How are you going to change that in the second half?
Yeah, I mean, you know, look, a couple of us have got to take some more responsibility. Now Jazz is out. You know, my shots haven't been dropping. I've got to do better. I've got to shoot better. Our guards are doing well attacking the basket. They need to keep doing that. And when Praise is in, that's the young girl inside. She's doing well, so we need to keep going to her.
Siobhan, good luck in the second half. Back to you, Nat.
Thanks, Mike. At the other half, the Lions in complete control. Is there a way back for the Wildcats? It's a tall order. Reaction and analysis coming next. Welcome back to Worcester, half-time in the WBBL Trophy final. And of course, the worst possible start for the Wildcats, with one of their stars going down inside the first few minutes. The Lions capitalised a 28-point first quarter, and they doubled down in the second quarter, 28 more points. A massive first half for them. The Wildcats fighting, but it is a long way back. So a 30-point lead at the half for the Lions. Solid shooting underpinning the ability to get to the free throw line. 19 and 23 they're shooting from there as well. And look at that, 14 turnovers from the Wildcats, not helping matters at all. As I said, the worst possible start for them. Jasmine Joyner, a player so integral to them at both ends of the court, going down with what looks, unfortunately, like quite a serious injury early on. As a team, Melita, how crushing a blow is that when one of your stars goes down just a couple of minutes into a game like this?
Yeah, it's pretty tough. I can't even imagine what they must be going through right now, but they definitely have to stay level-headed, stay focused, and basically ask other people to step up.
What did that do to the original game plan, Kieran, that the Wildcats had coming into this?
Yeah, they were thinking that the Lions, if you were looking for a weakness, it would be inside. So they were thinking about points in the paint. Giving the ball into Joyner, a lot of things work off that. That was then taken away from them. Lundqvist had to step up. The praise came in the game, tried to step up, but it just wasn't the same. It wasn't the same look. I think it kind of knocked them for 6, and it was too little, too late.
They're missing her offensive contribution, obviously, Rianne, but she's one of the best rebounders in the game as well, and the Lions are exploiting that too.
Yeah, definitely. And like Melita and Kieran said, others have to step up now and do it for Jasmine. It's heartbreaking seeing your teammate go down like that. And we saw it get quite a bit more physical because of that emotion coming out. That, like Melita said, they need to stay level-headed and stick together.
Well, to compound the issue, a key player down, and the Lions, perhaps because of that, in very composed form, particularly Kennedy Leonard. We talked about her at the top of the show, Melita, and a very assured performance in the first half, wasn't it?
Yeah, she's an amazing point guard. She can do it all. She can pass the ball, she can control the tempo of the game, she can shoot the ball. And we was talking in the break about how to defend her off of the ball screen as well, because at the start they was going under and she was pulling up for the three-pointer, and then you go over the screen and she's able to snake it and dish the ball off to Umar, who's had an excellent half as well.
So pick your poison. Shanice Beckford-Norton's a player that impressed you in the first half, Rianne.
Yeah, incredible athlete, really exciting to watch, and she's a flat-out scorer. She's getting to the basket, she's shooting it mid-range from behind the arc. Nottingham need to do a better job with that matchup.
And this is the thing, Kieran, they're getting contributions across the court at the moment.
And that's the thing, when you're up big as well, confidence, all the pressure is off. So a lot of players are contributing. Ume was, her job in offensive rebounding. So when they were missing shots, we talked about Breen making shots. She's not getting the shots up because she's getting fouled every single time she catches the ball, getting to the free throw line. But everyone else is contributing. Rebounds, making the extra pass, and specifically defense. They've really stepped up the defense and really made the Wildcats turn the ball over.
We talked about bench depth at the start, didn't we? But actually, is the Wildcats' best chance here Chelsea Shumpert, who, of course, as you say, has to keep a level head and composed and not force the issue, but is their best chance to get back into this her having a monster second half?
Yeah, but we kind of expect that from her anyway. She takes those three-pointers in every single game. So I'm pretty sure if she plays how she's been playing all season, then they can bring it back. Also, in the last game that they played each other, Joyner was out on 4 fouls in the second quarter. So they've seen this before, right, and they was able to bring the score back up to make it a close game at the half. So I'm pretty sure if they've done it before, they can do it again. So I think they're going to come out in the third quarter and bring it back.
That's a great point that I'm sure the players are being reminded by their coach right now. As a player, when you're in a cup final in a 30-point hole, what do you want to hear from your coach at halftime?
You want to hear that. You want to hear positive reassurance that you're a good team, that the shots aren't dropping, but we have to keep shooting them. We have to keep sharing the ball, remind them of the game plan, just so that they can come back out refocused and re-energized.
Let's check in with Mike Tuck, who's courtside with us. Mike, it's not a normal trophy final, of course. There are no fans in the arena. So talk us through how both teams are trying to get some energy going.
It's been a strange final in that sense because it's been very quiet in here, and for London Lions, they've had great energy on their bench. Every time they score, they're getting up, they're applauding, they're really cheering their teammates on, where after Joyner went down from the Nottingham bench, I haven't seen that. I haven't seen that energy, I haven't seen that that little push over the edge that they need from their teammates. So I think in these type of situations, when there's no fans here, you got to create your own atmosphere, and that comes from your bench and players on the floor.
We're not sure how serious the injury to Jasmine Joyner is as yet, but great to see her back out courtside cheering on her teammates.
Yeah, she's there. She's cheering on her teammates. It's probably one of the hardest things to do, to sit on the sidelines and watch as this happens to your team. But she's there, and hopefully it's not a long-term injury.
Do you think the Wildcats can get back into this, Mike?
It's going to be a tough one. They have to take it possession by possession and take care of the ball. Those turnovers are killing them.
Okay, many thanks, Mike. If the Wildcats are going to get back into this, Chelsea Shumpert, big performance aside, how are they going to do it, Rianne?
I think they need to share the ball. Chelsea Shumpert, we saw her come off the point guard position, and then she started to knock down some shots with Costa in the game to support her. And it needs to be a drive and kick kind of game. And that's the best way. They need to stick together and they need to share the ball.
Melita, do you think it's too big a gap, 30 points?
Hey, if they was able to get the lead to 30 points, then they can bring it back. So I always try to tell my team or whoever I'm playing with, it's 0-0 in a half. So you never know what can happen. It's basketball, and that's why I love it.
There you go. We never know what will happen. It looks like it's one-sided at the moment, but Nottingham will come into the second half with belief that they can turn this around. All the second half action from Worcester is coming next.
I'm fine. We can do it for her. She's all right. Mum, we need to go now.
We got to do this for her now. Yeah. We do this for Jazz now, all right? Let's go.
Let's go, ladies, right here.
It's a long road back for the Wildcats, but they want to force their way back into it. For Jasmine Joyner, their teammate who went down early on in this final. All the second half action coming your way. I'll get back to Ant Rowe and Dan Radish.
Thank you very much, Nat. Well, as Melita said at half-time, if one team can win the half by 30, another team can win the half by 30, and that's the way Nottingham have got to think about it. And They didn't really even come out and warm up, Nottingham. They spent the whole time talking about it, trying to channel something there.
Well, if you can position yourself mentally to approach this game, you know, layup lines are irrelevant. You know, what they've got to do, they've got to look after the basketball, and obviously they've got to finish the plays. So they can't afford to miss fast breaks or miss layups. Everything has to be a near perfect half for them now.
Charles running through. Robinson knocks it down, and they finally come away with it. Yes, it'll be a Nottingham ball, and delighted to say Rianne's joined us in commentary booth, and Rianne, it's one of those things, as Ant says, they need the perfect half, but you can only do it chunk by chunk. Don't think about 30, think about the next 2 or 4 points.
Exactly. No one player is going to win this game for them. They really need to gel together as a team. They need to string together some stops on defense and then capitalize on offense.
The thing is as well for the Wildcats, you've got Shumpert on 15 points and no one else even close to being double digits. You know, you're going to have to, you know, everyone else has to be brave here now and contribute.
There we go, that's one way of doing it. Fake the handoff, because all the pressure is going to be on Shumpert in that, and drive to the basket. And we saw a bit of this early on after the initial injury, where they were able to get to the basket and to get to the free throw line.
I thought Lundqvist was really good in the Lundqvist. Sorry, excuse me. It was really good in the first half. I thought, look, her numbers aren't going to jump out to you, but I thought her energy was brilliant. I thought she was competitive, and yeah, she could be an individual now they look to really harness some more offensive production.
Yeah, she's definitely a tough player, and goes after every ball, doesn't give up on a play. So that's what Nottingham need right now. Another
stop and a chance for a transition three, not quite for Freeman, but that will stay with the Wildcats.
Look, we haven't played a minute yet, but it's an encouraging start. A couple stops on the defensive end for the Wildcats, and they look more confident here on their approach on offense.
Nice inbound, but it's poked away. Good defense in the end from Leonard. And a little change of pace gets her all the way to the rim, but it doesn't drop. And Charles is able to turn that into 2 points.
Nice recovery from Charles. I think what the London Lions have been really good at, they haven't felt sorry for this Nottingham team for one bit. They've been quite brutal in their approach.
And that's quite difficult to do sometimes when you feel like you've got the advantage, to keep pushing and keep pushing. A lot of teams, they take their foot off the gas and then let other teams get back into it, but London Lions have done a great job here.
That'll be the concern for Mark Clark, coming into this second half and taking that tentative approach, or feeling any level of empathy which takes their foot off the gas.
Well, slightly late whistle there. It looked like Costa had got too far into that shot and had just left the floor, and the referee had to think about it and then called the travelling violation. Breen running off the screen and getting enough room for a shot at the top of the key.
Well executed play there. Breen coming off the screen and a nice turn into that jump shot.
Shumpert driving through. You can see the 5 on the floor for Nottingham here at the start of the second half. And, well, the first minute of this second half was really good. The last minute, not so much for Nottingham.
I agree, and they've had turnovers the whole game, and some of them have been unforced. This was a forced turnover. I think really good defensive effort there from London Lions. The intensity there, hands in the passing lane, and 100% caused that turnover there.
Beckford Norton to Breen for 3, knocks it down, all string for Cassie Breen, our first 3 of the game.
We see there why it's so important not to let her catch it, because Tia Freeman went all the way right out into her face and she was still managed to finish.
Freeman gets the roll at the other end. The interesting thing, first 3 of the game for Cassie Breen, she has 19 points. 19 points, 1 made 3.
What her reputation and what her amazing 3-point percentage, that's given her those points, Dan. It's having to jump out on her, having to foul her on the 3-point line, because if you don't, the inevitable is going to be a 3-point shot.
Yeah, 10 of 10 for free throws made, which is a record in the final. previous best was Carmen Reynolds, 8 of 8. Nice drive through, but no points at the end of it, and then just a bit of a clumsy one from behind from Beckford Norton.
Yeah, just that high energy there and competitiveness. He wanted to get that ball back after that missed layup. That'll be her third foul, and I think she's a player as well. She has been an X-factor player on both ends of the floor, so you know, she picks up a needless foul there and has to spend some time on the bench.
Costa surveying the options. Is Freeman going to take the three? Good hand in the face, enough to make it a difficult shot. Leonard for three, but the shot wouldn't have counted there. And Robinson called for the moving screen.
Been a really frustrating day for her so far. She's it's been inconsistent minutes for her because of the foul trouble she's incurred early, and yeah, she's moving there, isn't she? Gotta be disciplined there and stay firm, stay still.
We spoke about in the pre-game as well how foul prone she is, and she could be a real X factor against this Nottingham side without Joyner.
And those are the ones that sometimes you're going to get a foul trying to get a block or whatever, but those ones on the screen, you do your job properly and it can't be a foul.
Exactly.
Shumpert driving, and there's going to be another foul, and Shumpert going to the line for the bonus, and that's going to be Robinson's fourth.
And that's where those things come into play, Dan. You know, you pick up that needless one on the screen. Now this one becomes so much more of a problem because that's your fourth foul. And Shumpert, again, good energy, good aggression, fearless going to the basket.
Whenever Nottingham share the ball and string together a few passes, it always results in something positive. It's when they make one pass and then a shot that I think they become unstuck. They really need to get that ball moving, swinging it from side to side.
Here's Leonard now for the Lions. Cross court to Breen, has a bit of space, takes the three off the mark, and eventually Nottingham come up with it. A bit of a scramble, but they managed to get the defensive rebound. Shumpert with the transition three, doesn't go. Costa recycles. Shumpert will try again, knocks down the triple, and cuts the gap.
Good energy off the offensive rebound there, and you know you're not going to have to tell Shumpert to shoot the ball. You know, on a second occasion there, knocks it down.
Nottingham moved into a zone now. It's really important that they locate the shooters.
There's the shooter,
and there it is.
Didn't locate her.
I think I jinxed that possession.
You should have said it louder, Rhea. They would have heard you.
I think you coached that possession, is what you did there. Oof. Breen crashing into the boards in the wall. She seems okay.
You always think those boards are more solid than they are, and then you jump into them and they're gone.
Oh, Dan was just saying this last game that those boards used to be metal
and wood. Yeah. In the old days, I've seen players, Alan Cunningham it was, get injured trying to jump over a metal board at the end of a court. A lot of contact in there and a bit of frustration as well, but there will be a couple of free throws. Interestingly, we talked about Nottingham getting in foul trouble in the first half, and maybe that's some of the reason of going into a bit of zone here, but no fouls. All 5 of the fouls here in the first 4.5 minutes of the third quarter have been against the Lions, which is why there are 2 free throws straight away.
Egorev was one of those positive signs for them in the first half as well, that again unfortunately due to foul trouble she had to sit on the bench for extended minutes, but you know, we'll see what she can do in the second half.
Here's Breen. Good ball movement from the Lions. Nice, that's well run there. They just kept moving the ball till they found the right open shot.
Good disciplined basketball there. And the penetration there from Charles, which gives Ulla the open bucket.
And Jumper quickly to the hole is up to 23. Green for the triple, rims out, and pulled away by Lundqvist. Jumper transition, back iron, and Breen just keeps it in bounds. Charles for three. And a finish on the offensive glass.
Wildcats really have to box out of that zone. It's really difficult to box out of the zone because you're not guarding a specific player. So there needs to be a real effort to make sure that happens.
Especially with someone like Ume, who just lives off those points. She's been extremely active, even more so incredibly efficient.
But loses her feet, and that will be a hell ball. And the possession arrow means Nottingham will keep it, but there's only 5 on the shot clock. Just kind of tripped over Clocker's foot. Nothing she could do about it. It's a Wildcats ball from the end. Throwing it in, but throwing it away. 2-on-1 here, and two players you want in the open court there. They're always going to combine for a basket.
Leonard was so good there as well, because she could have passed it a little bit sooner, but she elects to dribble it one more time, which brings that defender a little bit closer to her and creates an easier layup for her teammate. Really well executed transition offense there.
Well, nice drive to the basket, and a great finish as well when she got there by Costa.
She's so effective at that, getting to the basket with a Euro step, with a spin.
These 3 rims in and out. Well, Lundqvist loses it as she hits the deck. Leonard dishes it off, and I think Leonard probably could have her season average of assists so far, and 1 or 2 of her teammates have blown a couple inside. She's on. We're on triple-double watch with her. 12 points, 5 assists, 6 steals. And that's great work there from Clocker to knock that ball away, and it will be a Lions possession as a result.
These two have won at each other. You can see the matchups have been quite choppy when you look at those two there, but no, great defensive play there to knock the ball off the leg and go out of bounds.
Bringing it across half court. Back to Norton. Stolen away. Shumpert out in front, and she will get her easiest score of the game. 25 points now for her. Trophy final record is 30. Offensive foul is the ball. Clocker on the illegal screen.
Couple positive plays here from the Wildcats, and moving screen there.
Those are the worst ones. You get a good whack as well for your troubles, and then you turn around and see the fouls on you as well. Well, Freeman leaves her on the floor, takes the 3, misses everything.
Been a frustrating afternoon for Freeman, hasn't it? She hasn't really been able to quite get it going, and she had a lot of time to think about that 3-pointer.
Sometimes I think those are the most difficult ones to shoot. Especially once you hesitate about it, you just got to shoot it as it feels comfortable.
Yeah, Rose more of a flow 3-point shooter, aren't you, Ray?
The flow not happening very often.
Wow! Foul is called. Beckford Norton with the chase back block, but called for the foul. Let's have another look at it.
Oh, what a play there from Beckford Norton. And as soon as she heard them, perfectly timed as well. As soon as she heard the whistle too, she immediately reverted to the referee in there. Very unfortunate, but look, great chase down by her and a great effort.
She really is an unbelievable athlete. We play them on Tuesday, and I'm definitely going to be scared if I'm in the open court.
Well, it's her 4th personal foul, so she will have to sit down.
This was never gonna happen all at once, but you know, you take the positives, and they're winning the quarter 19-15, and you know, I think they've responded well.
In the corner doesn't go. Shumpert, nice pass down court. Mustard dancing along the line, but must have just stood on it.
It's a great look as well, and I think Shumpert's doing the right thing there. She's taking gambles, you know, but you've got to do that. You know, you're in a game situation where you're going to run out of time, so you've got to take gambles here and make those passes.
And Costa's got it back to the spin off the glass. Pretty play from Costa at the rim.
I called it earlier. She's done it to me a few times, so I know it's in the bag.
You did say she was excellent in transition, and that is a perfect example. Amazing body control there as well with the finish.
Breen getting all the way to the basket.
Nice finish.
And lays it in. 25 for Cassie Breen. She's 6 of 6 from 2-point range and 10 of 10 from the free throw line. And we were talking all about the 3-point shot at the beginning. She's not actually shot that very well. It's been everything else in her game that has got her to those points.
Nice rebound and put back there. He's really active in this third quarter. He was rewarded on that occasion.
Oh, even with the deflected pass, Ume had a lot of time in that.
The assist gets through, even with the deflection as well. Incredible play.
Poked away. Leonard comes up with it. And a foul called on Lundqvist, and I think that's her 4th as well.
Well, had Lundqvist not done that, Wildcats would have went the whole quarter without committing a foul. That's their first foul of the whole quarter, and that was clearly a message from the coach, because you can't go from having a half like they had, which non-stop, you know, free throw trips to the free throw line for the London Lions. So, you know, a clear message there from the coach that they've really well executed on.
Very nice pass. And again, they're just picking them apart here.
That time it was reverse roles. It was Ume to Leonard down low. Nice 1-2 play there.
On the buzzer at the end of the third, but it doesn't go well. They've taken 2 points out of the lead, but they needed a lot more than that, the Nottingham Wildcats, as they walk off. They know it's going to be a long 4th quarter for the London Lions. They are 10 minutes away from the WBBL trophy. They've been good from tip to buzzer, and they lead 77-49 at the end of 3. We'll have the 4th quarter when we return. Welcome back to Worcester. Fourth quarter about to get underway. 10 minutes away from a first title in the WBBL for the London Lions. And good work from Costa pressuring the ball. Can she get the points at the other end? Yes, she can. Turns some of her own defense into her own offense.
Good energy there from Costa.
Ooh. Another steal is there. And that will be a Wildcats ball again. Rose getting a little hand on it.
Good activity from the Wildcats so far.
Just trickled out of court, that one. Shumpert. Here comes Leonard. Oh, that's a nice pass. Go up with that. Needed the assist. Freeman diving out, commits the foul.
Well, Leonard on 6 assists, but it's been Chantelle Charles who's quietly been distributing the ball. She has 7 assists today.
She's also on triple. Oh my goodness, what a block from Costa.
Some protection of the rim there from Simone Costa. Big block.
Just waited for it. Threw it out. Green in the corner. And off to Leonard. Another nice pass down the lane. And a chance for Charles to go to the free throw line. First free throws of the second half for the Lions. They had 23 of them in the first half.
It's a good pass and catch there as well from Charles. Just good hands.
Fourth foul on Shumpert.
I think at this point with Shumpert, coach has no option but to keep
Yeah.
In any other situation, we might see a player sit down, but...
Well, Leonard gets an assist off those 2 free throws, so that's 7 assists, 7 steals, and 14 points for Leonard in the final. Still within a shot of a triple-double. Nice work going the long way round for Rose. Sorry, it was Egba who converted that. Thrown away.
Egba, 9 points, 9 rebounds. Approaching on a double-double in 15 minutes of play as well, and you can't help but feel sorry for her there. She didn't pick up those early fouls, and she was clearly someone who was active and doing positive things for her team early in this game when Joyner went down.
Freeman trying to force that one inside, throws it away. Bedford Norton. Leonard inside and ricocheting out of bounds for a London possession.
Wildcats have been so much better defensively in this second half. Just their rotations, their energy, and they've made things very difficult for this Lions team.
That's something that was missing that first half. It felt like Lions could score any way that they wanted to with no pressure. So I'm glad to see that they've stepped up this half.
Nice drive to the basket.
Leonard, she is such a difficult cover, isn't she? Great vision, but she also scored the ball.
I really wonder if there is anything that can disturb her.
No.
She's just cool as a cucumber, completely composed the whole game.
Inline ball to the Wildcats. There's a little push and shove here. Shumpert's on 4. Ooh! Shumpert's on 4 fouls, so she doesn't want to get involved in anything. There's some chatter going on here. Nobody's backing away. See what the referees make of it. It's really not really much in that. And then there's a little push off and a push back. I think the referees... Well, I thought at first they were going to let it go, but they've just had another conversation. And I think they're going to settle for a warning. And they all went because the referee blew the whistle to say, hang on, I'm just going to go talk to the Nottingham coach, Coach Leonard, and Vega thought it was an end liner. He wanted something doing because he felt his players were the offended rather than the offenders there. Anyway,
it's just one of those games. Emotions running high.
Yeah. Shumpert into the lane, bobbles in for two.
It's a tough shot. She lost her footing, and when she jump stopped there, and which takes away from your elevation on the jump shot, but it didn't matter. She knocked it down.
For Norton, gets it back, takes the shot, knocks it down. Long two for Shanice Beckford-Norton.
Good offense there. Made the Wildcats work there, and Beckford-Norton stepped into that jump shot.
Travelling violation, the call.
Paige Robinson doesn't want to foul there. You can see her pulling the chair and stepping back there, which it's Egbariba to travel.
Going over for three off the back of the ring. Shumpert to the fall away. Is that Shumpert? She's done. Well, she was closing in on the trophy final record of 30 points, but she's going to fall a little bit short. 27 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, 4 steals. But she has fouled out here, Chelsea Shumpert, and her afternoon is over.
Yeah, possibly a frustration foul, but what a shift she's put in. I think she's one of the players, you know, adversity hit them very, very early in this game, and she's responded, and she's been the aggressor, isn't she, offensively, and she's looked to carry the load.
Yeah, Nottingham are going to really have to come up with something collectively to make up that slack of her and Joyner out the game.
What an offensive rebound. Beckford-Norton, she was sky high there. Grab the offensive rebound and keep it alive.
Looked like an American football dive at the free throw line. We ought to get Nat to analyse that for us.
Nat's in full basketball mode now. He's football's a distant memory.
A little perspiration on the floor to be dealt with before these free throws are taken. Kennedy Leonard, 16 points, 8 assists and 7 steals. I think she might not quite get there to the triple-double. But she's going to be very close. And she's going to be in the running for the golden basketball at the end of the game as well. Freeman working the pick and roll, working it well as well. Nice basket for the Wildcats.
Really good finish there, and Egbariba has been superb for me. I think she's been a really bright spark for this Wildcats team.
Definitely, she's come in, she's had some added value to the team. Stepped up with Joyner going out of the game.
Good rebound as well. That's double-double now for her, her 10th rebound. And to work again, kicks it out to Pryor. One more pass on to Freeman for 3. Looks at the official wanting a foul, nothing doing. Leonard with a little change of pace. Has all the room in the world. Not quite sure why she didn't go back up with that. Stolen away by Costa. Drives hard, and Beckford Norton on the 4 fouls just got out of the way, and I think that put her off.
Well, Leonard's clearly heard you talk about her triple-double numbers. She didn't need a score, so she's looking for an assist.
Yeah. Might get one here. Oh, off the mark from Kuzmanovic. 5 minutes to play in the WBBL Trophy Final. The London Lions ticking the seconds down as quickly as they can so they can get their celebrations on. And another turnover for the Wildcats. 23 of them in the game today.
Really difficult to win any basketball game. 23
turnovers. Costa inside to Lundqvist, out to Freeman, driving to the basket, dishes it off, and what it tells you something about the bench on the London Lions, that they've leapt up, screaming and jumping. They're up 30 in the trophy final. They know they're going to win. They're still really enjoying themselves, and the referees had to give them a warning to calm down a little bit.
I think that, you know, you can tell great teams from their bench, from their bench's reaction to success and from their bench's reaction to adversity. And London Lions really have a great team, and they're gelling really well, and we've seen that here today.
It's been a remarkable season for them, really. If you think from where they came last year, they hadn't won a game by the time the season shut down. I think it was 19 defeats that they had, and you know, I know things change over the summer, but the dramatic change from a team that until the other day haven't lost a game is about to win a trophy final from where they were. Yeah,
definitely. And you know, for someone who's played in the WBL for some time, it's great to see. It's great to see players who attended Barking Abbey Academy come back and represent London Lions.
Yeah, that's the utopia structure that you'd want. You know, that filtering system there. Whether they stay in England or go to the States and then come back, but either or, the result is that they play for their pro team in their local area.
Nice pass, beautiful assist from Pryor for 2.
What this does for this London Lions team as well, it's probably not great for you, Bree, in this being Manchester, but when you win a trophy, you'll be surprised at how much it brings you together as well. And we talked about the bench, you know, the unity and their positive energy, but it's it's that when you've won a trophy together, it brings you together. That feeling of, oh, do you remember when we did that? We won that. It's very powerful.
Yeah, and you're right. It's not great for us.
Well, the other thing about it is it's been one of those games. Now, it helps when you're up 30 for most of the game sort of thing, but it's been one of those games where they've actually got bits from everybody. Yes, we've talked a lot about Leonard, and yes, we've talked a lot about Breen, but actually they've got a lot of contributions from up and down the roster, so everybody will look back on the final and think of something positive, some contribution that they've made to winning that final. 100%,
and that is a difficult team to guard if everybody can contribute. So they've done really well at sharing the ball.
Freeman fires up the 3. Back iron. Struggled a little bit from the free throw line. She's 0 of 6 now. Foul called underneath, not sure who on. That's Costa, I think. His number got shown to the thing. Let's see if we can see, a little grab there. Yeah. You wonder if some of that goes back to the play a few minutes ago where they were all getting a little heated. 2:20 to go, timeout call. First timeout of the second half for either team. And, well, I'm sure Coach Kenrick here is just about, you know, he knows the game is gone. This is about finishing well and trying to get themselves in a position for next week, sort of thing, and for the rest of the season.
Yeah, definitely. And reflecting on how do we as a team want to finish this game? It's not been our best performance, we know that, but can we have the character in these last 2 minutes and 20 to show what we're made of and what we're capable of?
We don't know what the diagnosis is as well with Joyner, but look, if you break it down, you know, Coach Kendrick's probably looking at this for, let's say, the long term. You know, they've played the second half, they won the third quarter by 2 points, it was 23-21, and they're currently tying 13-13. So if you can play with a team like London, you know, and you're competing, then it's good. It's a positive sign for things to come. Now, look, yes, they're down by 30 already, and there's an element of that. But this London Lions team hasn't really, you know, came out and been laxed. It's been a competitive basketball game this last 20 minutes. If you took this 20 minutes of basketball, you think, okay, these are two teams competing here. So I think, you know, if you're looking to pull positives from this and then see where it's going to take you going down now, you know, further into league play, then it's been a good response from this Wildcats team. Yeah, definitely. And players like Praise coming in, and she's been phenomenal. And that might be someone that you've overlooked previously. So it's great that she's came in and kind of made a name for herself today.
And it will give her a boost as well, because she's obviously going to get big minutes now for however long Joyner's out. Her role is going to increase.
Exactly.
Another offensive rebound. They've done really well in that category today. 15 of them in total. Oh, nice triple from Voyanova.
Well, she was sneaking and hiding behind that screen there, and the space was created for her, and nice finish.
Inside the final couple of minutes here. Still trying to go hard, but no way through. A great block from Lavinia that got the bench off their feet for sure. Loving that.
There's great energy from the bench. Like, look, there's no crowd in here, so therefore the atmosphere is it's not what it would be. But boy, does that make up for it when you're seeing your friends, your colleagues, and teammates, you know, rallying you on like that.
We can see both teams now put their academy players and their youngsters on. So it'd be great for them to have some minutes on such a big stage.
Yeah, the average age has certainly gone down, but it is one of the things that we've seen in recent years in British basketball, the development of academies at multiple levels as well. You've got the elite academy level, and you've got the ABL as well. And actually, we've seen it more so in the WBBL, where those younger players, and here's an example of one right at the free throw line, get an opportunity at the very earliest age to get exposure at the top level very young, and that can only help their development.
Yeah, definitely, because once they leave under 18, it's such a big jump to WBBL, so it's important that whenever possible we can help bridge that gap. Obviously, I'm sure if it was a one-point game, it'd be a very different team on the floor right now.
No, but it gives them that exposure of a big game, of a final, and these are the, you know, the sort of experiences that make you better a player as you grow and develop. Smanovich gets it back, looking to attack, driving hard. Last minute of the game. I think that sums up Tia Freeman's day, really. Just can't get anything to go. So this will probably be the last shot of the game for the Nottingham Wildcats. Can they get one final score? The Lions are getting ready to celebrate. And they will, no, it's on the floor, foul's on the floor. So it'll be a sideline possession.
Good strength from Rose, though, to put that through. It's a tough finish there, the contact.
Joyner along the baseline, running out of room. Well, a travel or a throw it out of bounds, one or the other. It's a traveling violation that was called, and it will be an end-line ball, and they will... Well, I was about to say dribble it out, but they with a bit of pressure on the ball, they will cross the halfway line. And the London Lions are seconds away now. And the celebrations can just about begin. They're going to get one more go at it. And that will do it. The London Lions are the WBBL Trophy champions. A dominant performance, the highest score in the competition's history with 96 points on the board. And really never looked too much in doubt, this one, Ant.
They didn't know. I think the Wildcats responded really well that second half. They brought that determination, that grit. They actually won the second... Sorry, they almost won the second half. But what it was is the London Lions, they were just disciplined. I think they were ruthless, they were disciplined, and they executed very, very well. You know, you still had your players, Breen, Charles, Leonard, Beckford, Norton was excellent, I thought, from start to finish. They still maintained that professionalism and discipline to get them over the line and give themselves a 32-point win on the grandest stage of a trophy final.
And for Coach Clark, a guy who's been in the game since forever, you know, he never gets too high, too low, but he will really enjoy what his team have done today and the performances that they got from up and down the roster, not just their superstars, but from everybody.
I think so, Dan. You know, and they just brought the energy as well. They won the battle of the boards, 47 to 43. So what that suggests is, yes, you're making shots and things are going well for you on the offensive end, but you're not. You know, you're not cruising on defense. You're still, you know, putting in those defensive efforts, securing the rebounds, and their transition was excellent. You know, everyone running the floor and the orchestrator there, passing the ball in Leonard.
Well, looking at the numbers, the 24 turnovers really did hurt Nottingham, but really the stat that isn't there is the 20 points they lost in the second minute of the game, and that was the big key as far as Nottingham's chances were concerned.
It was, and that was a combination of, I think, Nottingham, you know, making foolish errors on offense, but, you know, you've got to give credit there to the London Lions defense. You know, it was suffocating at times. Even times you saw the Wildcats struggle to bring the ball up court because the pressure was so intense there from this Lions defense. And when they got defensive stops too, they also secured the rebound, which is, you know, an incredible feat there, and which helped to their amazing, you know, offense in transition and within the sets.
And if you look at the comparisons by teams, and well, 21 points off turnovers, 42 points in the paint, just a dominant performance for the London Lions across the board, and they've really enjoyed themselves today. And as I say, the fact that so many people have contributed, everybody's got onto the court and had a role to play, and they are out and ready to go, and now is the moment where they get to enjoy and remember for the rest of their careers that trophy that they've won. For some of them it will be the first trophy they've ever won, particularly at this level.
And London Lions. They're a great organisation. I've done things with them over the past few years, and it was great to see them here in the final. But today they are the runners-up. Please put your hands together for the Nottingham Wildcats. Please come on up and pick up your awards, please. Chelsea Shumpert.
Had a rough old time. They keep getting to finals. In the end, they've only actually won one of them. But today they faced a significant amount of adversity, and they played hard from start to finish. You can't take that away from them, but it just wasn't to be their day.
It wasn't, no. The cards were heavily stacked against them. I think as soon as you saw Joyner go down as well, they were underdogs, I think, truth be told, going into this game. And when you see a big piece of the puzzle like that, taken from the game, then you can't help but feel that they are in for an even bigger, ask here. But no, look, in terms of I think the heart and the competitiveness they showed in the second half, you've got to be very proud. I think anyone, as a Nottingham Wildcats fan today watching will be extremely proud of these ladies, and they bowed to the very end there.
Ladies and gentlemen, as I said,
a
great organisation. Let's hear it for your 2021 WBBL trophy runners-up.
Acknowledging the victors. Not an easy moment for them. They will feel their own disappointment, but they still have the time to show their appreciation for the victors.
And that name for their first ever WBBL trophy, it is
for the first time in their history, the London Lions get the chance to get their hands on some silverware. First of all, they will all go up and collect their mementos. I just think it's we've got to do it in this day and age, but it's something not quite right going up and grabbing your own little memento off the table. But they will enjoy it nonetheless.
No, it's strange. No handshake, no half awkward hug from the presenter. It's it's a new time we live in. But hey, look, they're still receiving a winner's medal here, and they will not care what fashion it comes in. And I knew when I played, any opportunity I had to win some silverware, it was a glorious occasion. And these athletes are going to be thrilled just to snatch this one in the bag.
And for Mark Clark, he can use this as let's remember what this feels like. There's still more trophies out there to be won this season. Let's use this as a springboard for the rest of the campaign.
Yeah, I mean, Dan, they're 8-1 currently in league play. They've got themselves a piece of silver along with Seven Oaks. So they are the team now that everyone's looking to knock off the top spot. So no, this will do this group the world of good for their confidence. And as I said, there's something intangible I can't quite explain, but when you win something together, it just brings you closer.
7 steals, 6 rebounds. Number 14 for the London Lions.
And the MVP, almost a triple-double for Kennedy Leonard. 21 points, 9 assists, 7 steals, 4 rebounds. She wasn't a million miles away from the quadruple double. A tremendous performance.
No, it wasn't. Reed touched on this in the gameplay. I think the greatest thing for her was her mentality as well. Her expression, her emotion was straight business today. And throughout the whole game, she maintained that mentality of the Black Mamba mentality.
Yeah.
I'm going to do whatever it takes to win this ball game.
She certainly did, and it never eased off, as you say, from minute 1 to minute 40. And there is just one more thing to do. Well, they're posing for the pictures. Somebody needs to go get the trophy first. They're ready to go.
I'm going to ask the captain of the Lions, Shanice Beckford-Norton, come up and pick up the trophy.
Their captain, Shanice Beckford-Norton, will grab the trophy and she will turn and celebrate with her team. The London Lions are the trophy champions for 2021. Well, the ticker tape flies and the flames up from behind as well. And these are the moments you remember and the ones you enjoy. And these will be the pictures that they will put in pride of place. I don't know if you put it on a wall anymore, if it's a screensaver on your phone, but that's what they'll do. And they will use this as motivation to make it the first of many, and a successful day for the London Lions.
The 2021 WBBL champions, the London Lions. And Melita, Cassie Breen mentioned in an interview this week about the depth and the swagger in this Lions roster, as she called it. They lived up to that billing tonight, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. It's fantastic to see them get a victory like this. I've trained with them, so I know how hard they've worked and how much they want it too. So I don't want to wish them too much luck because I am on another team. But, it's great to see my friends do so well.
Yeah, I bet. Now, how much will this win mean, Rianne, in terms of the belief in this Lions roster to go on and win more this season?
I'm sad to say it's going to do them the world of good. When you win something together, it really brings a team together. We play them on Tuesday, so hopefully that kicks in, Wednesday. But yeah, when you win trophies together, it's really something you remember for a lifetime.
You have to feel for Nottingham, of course, Kieran. You do wonder what kind of game this would have been if Jasmine Joyner hadn't got out injured so early on. Yeah, definitely. And I think right now their focal point is Jasmine's health. They want to be there for us as teammates, make sure that she's okay. And it's a sad day to lose a big game in this, in this climate. But at the same time, it's all about Jasmine's health right now. Yeah, absolutely. Well said. A composed performance all round from the London Lions. Mike Tuck is with Mark Clark, the winning coach.
Coach, you've just won the trophy final. Give me your immediate reactions.
Obviously, it's the first trophy for the organisation, so the first one is obviously a big one, and they're a really good group of people right from when they first came in and dealt with all the situations that everyone's having to deal with. So to get a piece of silverware for the organisation and for the team, it's just a great feeling.
Obviously, Kennedy Leonard stood out as an impressive player today. How important has she been for you?
It's always good to have a coach on the floor. It's always good that if Ken and I are on the same page, which we have been since day one, and her teammates appreciate her because she makes them better, and she's got some great backcourt partners in Shanice and Cassie, so they're a tough ask in the backcourt.
Congratulations, Coach.
Thank you.
Back to you, Nat.
Here's our MVP, Kennedy Leonard. She had a brilliant semi-final, of course, as well. And some players just embrace key moments, games like this, revel in the pressure. She absolutely did today. 21 points, 9 assists, 6 defensive rebounds. What a brilliant all-round performance from her, Melita.
Yeah, exactly. Like I've said before, she can do it all. She can shoot the ball, she can pass, she can rebound and get those steals as well. So, good for her. It's nice to have players like this in this league as well to bring up the level of competition. So, yeah, it's well done.
Well done to her. Well done to Cassie Breen as well. Close call, really, for her. 25 points, 100% from the free throw line as well. I mean, it was close between the two for MVP, wasn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And we spoke a lot about Cassie's three-point shot, whereas today, actually, we saw her be more versatile, mid-range pull-up jump shots, getting fouled and knocking down the free throw. So she also did add a lot of value. But Kennedy Leonard really led from the beginning.
Who else impressed you this afternoon, Kieran?
Stephanie Ume was unbelievable too. I think 5 offensive rebounds. Every second opportunity, she was just keeping it alive and giving London other opportunities. I think she was another standout player today.
In terms of Nottingham, something we were talking about pre-game, what a progressive franchise they are, how important they are in terms of British basketball. Tell us more about that.
I just think from a legacy perspective, I'm looking around today. I'm looking at the assistant coaches, all came out through the Wildcats program. You've got statisticians in there, coming through the Wildcats program. So they have an infrastructure in place to really help women's sport, really help grow the game and give them opportunities after they're done playing as well. So it's amazing to see, and I hope it continues to grow.
And speaking of helping women's sport and growing the game, how important is it that games like this are on Sky Sports for the nation to watch?
It's so important. Representation is absolutely everything. If young girls can watch this game and see themselves reflected, they're going to want to be inspired to be that. So it's important that they see us as much as possible, and let's just keep having more of it.
Rianne, Melita, thank you so much indeed this afternoon for all your insight. Best of luck with the rest of the season. Congratulations to the London Lions. Of course, that's the first of our doubleheader. 1 down, 1 to go. The Lions taking the WBBL trophy, but there's still another major BBL trophy to determine. Can London take both of them? All the build-up to Lions Raiders coming next.
On the day, it's about who wants it more. We're going to fight for each other.
It's the final. We should take care of business.
We want to be holding that trophy up as a team.
You play for these moments, you play to be in the final.
We're on a nice little run right now. Everyone's confident.
We'll be holding that trophy.